Greetings and welcome back to Gacha News for what week is it? It is the week of the 5th of July 2025, and we actually ended up with quite a bit of news in the later half of this week. So without further ado, let's get into it. First, starting with Zenlizzo Zero, we knew we were getting what's her name? Yuzuha and Alice, but what we weren't expecting is for both of them to get swimsuit skins. That came completely out of left field. The good news is that the skins this time, and with Yushuan as well, are clearly extremely different from their normal attire and are actually worth paying your monochromes for. Although if you've been buying the weekly login little ticket thing for months, you probably haven't spent some spares, so you can buy them. But also, Belle and Weiss are also getting summer skins. Belle in the upper looking particularly grown up and mature, but such is life. Anyway, besides the usual story event and other shenanigans, we have a couple of mini-games. We have a shooting mini-game where, well, that stuff happens, but the more important one is coming up right after this one, which reminds me a lot of Wave Race 64. As you can see here, we are riding waves, and yeah, it's basically Mario Kart, but single person, and it's basically Wave Race for the Nintendo 64. So yeah, that was quite a bit surprising during and the Vision game is coming back, of course, with Yuzuha apparently being next to you, cheering you on, so that's pretty nifty. We've got some type of Bamboo fighting mini game. Let's see, what else do we have here? A random event with a Bamboo. We've got some puzzle solving things again. Now, these, believe it or not, can actually give glimpses into the truth of the game. Like, I believe some 4 months ago, during one of the images was Soldier 11 and Ambi, normal Ambi, fighting together inside a hollow. That was basically the very first teaser they gave, confirming that Ambi and Soldier 11 were basically sisters. So, as you solve these, pay attention to the images in them, and you might get teased to some of the interesting truths within the game. And I do believe that is everything. Let's see. Yep. And basically you can now zoom in and turn around when selecting what costume to wear on characters that have costumes, so that you can actually tell if it's actually worth buying or not, which is a pretty good idea. Interesting choice of backpack. Oh, that's a waterproof backpack. Right, that's what it is. Anyway, moving on to Fate Granddaughter. So, less than an hour ago, the 8th anniversary literally launched, and as you can see, 100 free Saint Quartz to everybody. Absolutely amazing. I believe that is... something's been going on with Fate Granddaughter USA, where it feels like they are giving out significantly more Saint Quartz than at the beginning of the game. That was 8 years ago, and things have changed quite a bit, and they are probably trying to claw back their user base for the grand finale that is coming up. In Japan, they are having their 10th anniversary, and we don't know how much longer the game will go on, but I believe they are only missing one special chapter, and then it's the end of the game. So I first tell Fate Granddaughter, the story itself finishing within the next 2 years in Japan, or 4 years here on Global. Also, it launches with Tonerico the Savior, or Ask the Savior as they translated her name in English. Honestly, Tonerico is a lot better. While I understand why they changed to the Fairy Knights to the Tamlin, Fairy Knight just has... it's basically a fantasy name, and it goes along much, much better. In lesser news, Girls Frontline had their own little mini review. Oh, there we go. So in this video, which is both a cinematic teaser and an in-game show, they tease that they are basically going around and they're going to, let's see, can I make this bigger? Oh, no, not that big, not that big. Anyway, what you are seeing in the CG trailer is basically what they are going to implement. There's going to be a little drinks bar, there's going to be a little kitchen, and you can assign dolls to it to have lunch and drinks and all that stuff with the dolls around. Hey, there's Lena and Macchiato. But the more important thing is this. We are getting a pool area on the Elmo. Yeah, nobody saw this coming. This is coming straight out of China, by the way, because this was released in China and they decided that we know about it anyway. They're going to share information with us, so they decided to release it here as well. So here you can see the gameplay showcase. Literally, it's Grossa making us a little drink. And then as we proceed forward, she also makes us some food. It can be good or bad depending. We can also see that we can, very similar to how Arknights handled the construction of the base in the early game, we get to create our own base and decorate it and all that really good stuff. Now, we don't know when this is going to arrive, but it is being actively worked on. And because it was shared on the official EN account, they want us to know this information. They want us to look forward to it. So hopefully this comes to global at the same time as it does on the Chinese server, which would be nice. We can show off Klukai's bike over there, which accuracy, and here we go. That's where you assign them. They hang out, they have conversations. I believe this is where you can ask one of them to cook for you. They're going to pick Groza, I believe, because Groza is basically the mascot of the game. And she can either do really well or really bad. And then we have drinks, we have conversations, we can interact with those that are hanging around. And then the pool, yeah. So, I believe this is also teasing Klukai's swimsuit skin. Now, it could be either this one, that is the actual 3D model in the game, so I believe this is going to be it, or it could be the one from earlier in the video, here, where Klukai stops us from falling into the pool. There we go. Or it could be that one. Not sure. My guess is on this later one here. So I believe this is going to be Klukai's swimsuit skin that might arrive in August, because I believe August is what's defined at the end of summer in Japan and in Asia, but that is just how it is. And yeah, and then we get even fancier dorms for the doll, so a basically very fan servicey announcement from the team at Girls Frontline, so yeah, no complaints there. I believe everybody is pretty stoked about that. And lastly, Arknights announced this, I believe, yesterday, I believe? Nope, July 5, that is today, actually. Well, technically, yesterday, very late night for today in Asia. And they are basically teasing the event for Changwe's youngest sibling, Yu, which is the next Sui sibling event. And something I've been waiting for basically for an entire year. In case you're not aware, I am basically a Sui Knights player. That means I try to be as many stages as I can using only Changwe and his siblings. And when that is not possible, I'll bring in only operators from Yan, which is where the Sui siblings are from. So finally getting another tank, which is kind of odd, and a core caster in the form of Blaze Altar is finally going to make that so much easier, because right now we have no casters, and our only ranged DPS in Yan Knights is... I can't remember, but the girl with the giant floating ring thing. But yeah, that is basically all the news for this week. It's not much, but it is quite big impact. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.